The Web 3.0 space is absolutely exploding. There's an insane demand for blockchain developers who have the technical skills to help build the next generation of the internet. You know, blockchain is one of the highest paying fields in tech, but if you're trying to break into the industry, then one essential aspect that you need in your job search is a portfolio website that shows people what you can do. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a portfolio website, how to set it up, and how to deploy it live to the web. I'm going to show you this as a blockchain developer myself who's helped lots of people break into the industry this way. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to know how to master blockchain step-by-step from start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. All right, so let's take a look at what we're going to build today. So we're going to create this portfolio website that's going to be a Web 3.0 portfolio because we're actually going to put it on IPFS, okay, the decentralized file storage system with the help of the service Fleek. Okay, so we're going to see that in this video. We're going to create the entire portfolio site and, deploy it live to the web so that you can, actually start showing your projects to other people and share this link around. And that's one thing you can sort of brag about in your portfolio is that it's totally Web 3.0. Okay, so here's an overview of what's going to get included in the portfolio. Again, this is a really simple portfolio site. And one thing I want to stress here is that portfolio sites don't really have to wow people in terms of the visuals in the portfolio. That's a nice bonus for sure. But honestly, what it really just needs to do is communicate to them who you are, all right, and what you can do. And the best way to do that is to showcase your projects and just give them the basic information that they need about you and a way to contact you. That's the most important part because that's the next step in the process. So that's exactly what this accomplishes. So you can see the project section here about where you can actually put your coding projects that you've done live, on the web or on the blockchain, where people can see a nice image that represents what the project is. They can click through to the website. And they can also look at the source code on GitHub, okay? And then the basic, the basic experience about where, if you went to college, then you could put that on there. If you had any relevant work experience, you could put it there, okay? You could put all that stuff here. And then, of course, your socials, all right, your email, a way to contact you. And that's really all you need, honestly, for a portfolio site. Anything beyond that, really just bonus. Of course, it could help. It could be a nice to have. But let's think about this like in terms of a minimum viable product or an MVP portfolio, okay? And that's exactly what we're going to customize right now. All right, so now let's go ahead and grab the code. So you can go to this GitHub link. I'll put a link down in the description below. All right, we can see that we got all the code for the website in here. It's a React.js website. And it's got the instructions to clone the repository, how to install dependencies, start the app, and also how to deploy it live to IPFS, okay? So we're going to go over all those steps in this video, but I just wanted to point those out in the repository in case you want to see some written instructions, all right? So go ahead and head to your terminal and do git clone, all right, and paste in this URL. You, of course, need git installed on your machine, all right, in order to follow along with this. You also need Node.js installed. You can see if you have Node installed by just doing node-v. Okay, I'll show you what version of Node I'm using here, 16.14.10, but probably lots of different Node versions will work for this. But if you want to, ensure that you get the same results as me, then you could use that version, all right. So let's clone this. All right, we already cloned it, sorry. And we'll do cd portfolio template, all right? And now we're going to do npm install to install all the project-specific dependencies for the application. And we'll wait for this to finish. It'll take a few seconds here. There we go. All right, so you'll see some warnings here. They're just warnings. It's not a big deal. All right, now let's open the code in our text editor. I'm going to use Sublime Text. You can use whatever text editor you like. But let's see what we got here. We've got our package.json, which has all the project-specific dependencies for our application here, okay? We can see some basic React configuration, all right, all the type of stuff. That's in the package.json file. And then we've got the source directory where all of our React components for the website are. As you can see, these are organized into nice meaningful groupings like the header, about, project, experience, social, footer. All right, we'll see all that whenever we boot up the website and come back to customize this. So the next step is really just to start the web server. So I'm going to do that by opening a new terminal tab here, and we can do npm run start. All right, and that should automatically start the website and open it in a new browser tab for us. All right, so we can see that here, and boom, there we go. All right, so we've got an image, a headline here, a tagline, about section, portfolio pieces, experience, and then the socials. So let's actually go through each of these sections and talk about how to customize them so that you can make this work for your own portfolio. All right, so let's go through and try to customize this. All right, so you can see, like I was saying before, that the app is organized in nice components. So you can see all the header stuff up here is in the header component. The about section is in here. All right, your projects is there, experience, social, footer. Okay, so we'll go through component by component. So we can go look at the the header. All right, this is probably the main thing people want to customize. You could say, I'm let's see, just say Joe Blow. Just gonna put a random name up here, and you can also change your picture. So if you go to assets, that's where the pictures are. You can see the different projects, assets, Aave, compound, Uniswap. Those are the fake portfolio pieces we have here. But you can see your profile picture, okay? So basically, we can add our profile picture. I'm just going to add a new one here. So what you can do, the easiest way to do that is literally just to copy a new picture and put it in there and change the file name. So basically, if you go to source, assets, and then profile, I'm going to change this to profile old. All right, and then put in a new image, or I'm just gonna copy it in here, and I'm gonna say profile. All right, and then boom, there you go. I just changed the image. So that's a really easy way to change the picture without having to change the code. All right, so alternatively, you could put a new thing in there, right? You could go to, let's see, your app.js, header. You could say profile old if you want to. All right, and then save that, and you can see the old one again. All right, but if I'm just gonna do profile, okay, and then that'll put the new profile picture in there. So we change the name, blockchain developer. You can put a different, more compelling headline rather than just blockchain developer. You could say like, blockchain developer building, Solidity developer currently building, blank, and then like put in your project name if you wanted to. But so get in touch is another important part, because we'll need to get a way to contact you. So in the header section, you could do a button, and you could actually make it a link to the email. Okay. And so here's how you could do that. So instead of making this a button, you can make it a link. So like this. Change from button to A, and then you can say href equals, and you can do a mail to attribute here. So basically, this is how you do email links. You can say href is the link, but you can do mail to inside the link, and your browser will interpret the email address. So mail to, I'm gonna say like Gregory at dappuniversity.com. All right, and then if you go to the portfolio, you'll see, if you hover over this, your browser will see down here in the corner. It's going to go away if I put my mouse to it. But basically, if you click on this, it'll open whatever email client you have, and it'll start to actually, draft an email to that person. You can configure that to actually give you a subject too. Like you can put the subject inside of here. Let's just see. I forgot what the actual, you can see subject right here. You can put the subject for the email inside of there so that if you ever get inbound leads and they didn't change the subject, you'll know where it's coming from. And most of the time, people trying to get in contact with you, they'll say, hey, I saw your portfolio site. You want to reach out that way, but that's one way to do it. All right. So it looks like in the portfolio site that the button kind of moved up. I think that's because the CSS is, using button. Yeah. So if you look at, button, you can actually tweak the CSS a little bit to make that spacing go back. But anyways, so in terms of the About Me section, this is pretty self-explanatory. All right, so let's look at a components. About. All right, this is, you can put whatever you want to inside of here. We just pasted some some dummy text inside of here. This is lorem text. If you're not familiar with this, basically this is standard, just placeholder text. It's just Latin, lorem ipsum dolor sit amet. It's just it's meant so that's not distracting, right? You don't like trying to read what it is. It's just there to imitate a paragraph. Okay, so put whatever you want here inside the about me. But now let's talk about the projects, because this is going to be the most important thing. And honestly, you could flip flop these if you wanted to make the flow even more important on the site. Like you could do, and that's pretty easy to do. Like I'll show you. Watch. Go to app.js, and let's just move the projects above the about. Okay. Because that's something that people might even want to see more of. It's just like, hey, I'm this person. I'm a blockchain developer currently building blank. You could talk about your current piece, and then you can see my projects. Okay. So, you can even put a YouTube video inside of here, like the about me, or like, what I'm currently building or something. And you could like literally record a YouTube video and stick it in there. And you could even make that the second section. And the nice thing about this portfolio, it's very modular. You could just copy and paste like the about component, make a new component, stick it up there, put a YouTube video there, talk about what you're doing. That's going to be huge. All right. So let's talk about the projects. So this is what's really important, because whenever you do your portfolio, people need to see that you have the skills to pay the bills. All right, that you can actually create projects and put them out there in the wild, and you have some sort of visual element on your portfolio site that clearly draws them into that. Okay, so we've got that with screenshots of these projects here. So here's what you can do. So basically, we've already got this configured. We've got some dummy projects in here. We just took actual, blockchain applications like Uniswap, Compound, Aave, and put them in there. You, of course, want to replace these with your, actual projects. So, like, let's just look at what would work here. All right, I'll just show you how to replace this. So, first of all, let's just do this. Let's just take a quick screenshot of this. All right, we're gonna make a dummy portfolio site project. Okay, so let's go to our projects. Let's go to I'm gonna put this file in here. All right, let's just see here. I'm gonna put that screenshot that I just took inside of here, and let's say portfolio site.png. All right. And so let's go back into our thing here and go to projects, and I'm going to import that here. Assets, let's say call it portfolio site. All right, I think I spelled that right. Yeah, portfolio site. And then let's just try to change it from Uniswap to portfolio site. Let's just see if it shows up. All right, so we got a problem here. Oh, I just called it portfolio. Let's call it portfolio site. All right, be consistent. All right, there you go. You can see your portfolio site listed inside of there. It automatically takes the image. So we can call it, portfolio site. You wouldn't actually want to put your portfolio site inside of here, by the way. I'm just using this as an example of like a project that I, created, because I'm creating it right now, right? And so you'd want to resize the image so that you have better spacing inside of here, or, change the text, and you could just change this as like my custom portfolio site I built from scratch with React.js. All right, just something like that, right? Okay, and then for the site, you could put the actual website in there. Okay, I'm just going to copy this Fleek URL from the previous site and then put it in here. And then for the GitHub link, I literally just put the GitHub link. Okay. All right. And there you go. As you can see the site, it opens up in a new window. And then the code, you can see that it also opens up in a new window. Okay. So you basically want to repeat that for every single project in your portfolio. Now, you don't need like a million projects. Okay. You honestly really only need one really good project in your portfolio. So you could expand this. You could say my big project, and you could have a card that like expands this entire thing if you want to have a bigger write-up. Or you can have like my project, and you have this as like multiple images, and you could put one button down here that's like, website and code, or have some big YouTube video about it or something, right? There's lots of different ways you could go with this, and that's one of the reasons I want to keep this portfolio site nice and simple. It's very changeable, right? And at the end of the day, it's just got to communicate who you are and what you do. It doesn't have to be the prettiest website on the face of the planet, especially if you're not applying for a front-end developer job. So, anyways, that's how you customize the portfolio section. Experience. Let's just take a look at that. And the socials. Okay. So, let's see here. App.js. Let's go to the experience component. Let's see. Experience. And then you could say here, you call this Dapp University. All right. And we could say 2022, 2021, 2022. I graduated with a 4.0 GPA. All right. And then go back here. There you go. Awesome. So that's how you change it to these. And you could just change this with different values. Okay. And then finally the socials. We could just do Twitter. You can put your name here, your email. Again, you can make this a mail to tag like we saw in the header section. Twitter, say Dapp University. All right, it's what you could do you just put your own Twitter handle there. All right, and then just click that, and then it'll link straight to your Twitter handle. You can also make those open in a new browser tab if you want to, like the portfolio section. Okay, let's just see here. Project section. You can see how I did it here. So you can say target equals _ blank. All right, that's how you open links in a new tab. Okay, so let's see here. Socials. Twitter. All right, and whoops. Make sure we escape the string there. And then there you go. Now it opens in a new tab. Okay, so that's pretty much an overview of how to customize everything on this portfolio side. Now let's get it off our computer and actually put it live out there so that other people can use it with IPFS. All right, so now let's deploy this site live to the web. And we're going to make this a full Web 3.0 portfolio because we're going to deploy it live to IPFS. Okay, that's the Interplanetary File System. It's a distributed file system. It's not a blockchain, but it works kind of like a blockchain where you have a bunch of nodes that redundantly store the information, in this case, the files for the website. Okay, so you can go to Fleek with the link right here, fleek.co. Sign up for a free account. Go ahead and log in, and we will deploy the site. And one more thing I should mention here is that the best way to sign up with Fleek is just sign up with GitHub, okay? Because you're going to want to connect to a GitHub repository before that you... basically, it's going to let you link to your GitHub repository so that you can just one-click deploy this website that way. All right, so now you can see your dashboard here. I've got some old projects inside of here. We're going to come back to this in a second, but one thing that's important to know is that you need to push your portfolio site to GitHub in order to post it to Fleek. So basically what we're going to do is say git status. Okay, you can see your changes here. And then also git remote -v. All right. So we're going to do a couple things. We're going to get on GitHub and we're going to create a new GitHub repository so that we can push straight to Fleek that way. So inside GitHub, click new repository. Okay, I'm just going to say something. Let's just say portfolio site. I'm just going to call it Fleek. You can do whatever you want to. I have portfolio site in here already, so I'm just adding Fleek as the name. I don't want to overwrite the source code for this tutorial. Okay. So, I'm going to keep this private. I would make yours public. Okay. I'll just make it public. It doesn't really matter. And then I'll click create repository. Okay. And then now you should see this. So if you've been using the source code here and you see that you have a git remote already attached, we're going to do git remote remove origin. All right, and then git remote -v, because basically that means you already have an origin repository basically here. And so we want to get rid of that before we add one. So we're going to do git remote add origin, and then, basically paste in this, and then git remote -v. So basically what it's saying is, it's just saying, hey, what's the GitHub repository for this app? It's this. And so we had a previous GitHub repository set. We can read it with git remote -v. That's what git remotes are. They're just remote repositories. And the origin one is where you keep the source code, and that's GitHub. So this was the previous origin repository. It's configured for fetching and pushing. And so you just say git remote remove the origin remote, because you don't want to push to my GitHub. It won't let you anyway. And then so you say git remote v. They say it's empty because we just removed it. We confirm that change. And now we're adding a new origin repository or new GitHub repo this way, git remote add origin. And then you paste in the new GitHub URL. And then we looked at the remotes to confirm that it was successful. Okay, so now I'm going to say git status. And I'm going to look at all the changes that I made. I'm going to do git add dot, and then git commit. Customizes portfolio. All right, so I'm just committing the changes. All right, and then git push origin master. Master. Okay, and then boom. And let's just refresh the page here, and there we go. We can see that the portfolio site was updated. So now what we're going to do is go back to Fleek and connect that repo so that we can push it live to the web. All right, so what we're going to do is on Fleek, click Add New Site, and we're going to click Connect GitHub. Okay, so I'm actually going to change the repository here. I'll just do this off screen really quickly. Change it to my organization. Change context. So I put under here. You can see there's a bunch of different repos, but you want to search your repo. Okay, so basically I can see everything with the portfolio keyword. Let's do portfolio site Fleek. All right, that's the one I just connected. And now you can say, what platform do you want to host on? So you can deploy straight to IPFS this way. All right, this is the cool part, is that we can make it a Web 3.0 portfolio. So click that. Choose the master branch. Okay. And you want to change the build settings to create React app. Okay. Let's make sure all these settings are right. You should see them in the thing here. Okay, Docker image name, Fleek, create React app node 16. Yep, that's exactly what we want. npm install and npm run build. Publish directory is build. Base directory, just leave it empty. All right, and then click deploy site. And that should put it live on the web. So let's wait for this build to finish, and then we should have a link. All right, so now we can see the entire site here. Okay. So now you can see the link. All right, curly tooth 7439. All right, we can go to our previous site and then put it in there. And there you go. There's our site with all the changes. Okay. All right, so that's an overview of how to create your portfolio site and customize it and actually put it out there live on the web so that other people can see what you're working on as a blockchain developer. Again, this is a super critical step when you're trying to land your first blockchain job. You're showing people what you can do. That's what these projects do. That's the secret sauce. And then the next step is just, putting it all in one place so people can learn more about you, and what you do, what you're about, all that type of stuff. So again, this is really all you need. I mean, anything beyond this is just nice bonus. Okay. You can make this look nicer if you want to, but honestly, that's not that important unless you're trying to get a front-end developer job. Other things you could do, you could basically set this to a custom domain if you wanted to. Again, really not that important. People just need to see the website. They don't care that, you didn't spend the time to create a custom domain. If you want to as a nice exercise or just to give it that little extra touch, Totally fine. You could do stuff like play around with this IPFS hash, okay, that you can see that this is the actual IPFS hash for the website itself. There's lots of different stuff that you could do to take this to the next level, but this is just what you need to get started. So that's all I got for today. As always, smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That really helps these videos out so the more people can learn about blockchain. And if you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, you can go to my YouTube homepage. You can find more of those free courses right there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. And if you like those and you want to take the next step and create a real-world portfolio project that you can use to apply for jobs, learn how to master blockchain step-by-step start to finish, then definitely head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. You don't have to be an expert to get started right now. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. So that's all I've got. And until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.